Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, race fans. Welcome, one and all. It is a momentous occasion this evening after a rip-roaring debut in ACC with some cracking races. The F1 specialists at OneHubRacing have gone from catching a bit of curb to a full-on dive bomb. It's a 6-week season on my beloved ACC. Bring on the Ferraris and Spa. That's right, tonight it's going to be a pre-season warm-up for the drivers, you viewers, and of course my fellow commentator for the season. It is One Hub's very own race and comms stalwart, and quite frankly, the best in the commentating business. It is Miss Jessica Ball. How are you doing this evening, Jess?
I am doing good. Very glad to be here today, John. After 2 trial events on ACC, we're actually doing a full season of ACC at OneHubRacing. And you know what? I've been looking forward to this for weeks. Ever since the trailer was out, I just couldn't wait to get going. We've got some talented drivers in the mix this season. Not everyone is racing tonight, but I'm sure this race will give the drivers, fans and commentators something to watch out for. The format's going to be different this time around. We have 1 pre-season race tonight and 5 regular rounds of the season. Each round has a different race length. So the pre-season race and round 3 will be 60 minutes. Rounds 2, 4 and 5 will be 75 minutes. And the first round is the longest out of the lot, 90 minutes long. We're starting off in Spain for the pre-season race, the circuit to Barcelona-Catalunya. More information about that in a minute. We head to Spa to kick off the season. And what a season opener that would be. And I'm sure John is looking forward to that as much as me. Round 2 is Silverstone. Round 3 is Hungary. Round 4 is Zolder. And round 5 is where we did our last event a few months ago. Yes, you guessed it. It's Monza. 2 of those tracks, you may recognise them as we did them as our trial events. The lobby will each start with a 15-minute practice session, which they are in right now, and then followed by a 15-minute qualifying session to set the grid order for the race. The ambient and track temperatures are dynamic, with the weather varying from race to race. Each driver will have to do 1 mandatory pit stop for both tyres and event and fuel. And from the first round, drivers must pick a manufacturer that they must drive for the whole season. They can't change all the time. They can't change per track. So there might be some weeks where a particular manufacturer and car is not suited to that track. So they got to pick a car that is well balanced and they can race with well. We're also trialling for the first time combat points, which is in addition to the normal OneHubRacing points. So whoever gains the most positions from P1 to P10 in the race gains a point, and then whoever gains the most positions from P11 to P20 gets a point. We hope this encourages people to have some great battling and challenge themselves along the way. And we're also bringing in the stuff that we know and love from the OneHubRacing regular season in F1, which is Media Day, where the drivers did pre-race interviews for the first time today, and we get to hear about their thoughts coming into this race day. This happens every Monday in an ACC season, and they get grilled by our lovely OneHub Media Press. And we're also bringing over the ERT Going Gets Tough award, provided by one of our sponsors and partners, Elite Racing Team. Some of the drivers from that team are racing this season. And a quick reminder about that award for those of you new to OneHub: you get a chance to be put into that draw at the end of the season if you attend every race, complete all your media day interviews and finish outside the top 3. You also get a nice trophy too, and I have one currently on my mantelpiece in my bedroom as I won the ERT Going Gets Tough award last season in season 18 for F1. So, lots to look forward to, John, and I can't wait.
Oh, listen, absolutely phenomenal stuff. The format, the extra points the drivers can gain, everything is this isn't just dipping your toe. This is a full top diving board dive bomb into the waters that OneHub are racing. And yeah, I would definitely be a contender for the Going Gets Tough award myself. It is an unbelievably strong field of drivers that we've got. And of course, that calendar. We're only going to start the competitive stuff at Spa. 90 minutes. Wow. Mandatory pit stops. Let's just get our fingers crossed already. Some of my personal faves, as I say, out on display in this inaugural season. The promises to be absolute fireworks on track, and what a track we are starting with. Of course, one of the youngest tracks in the GT3 calendar, built only in 1991. Hard to fathom, and it's been changed pretty much more than most tracks. 7 or 8 times it has been changed. Elf, Renault, Repsol, Seaworth, Campsa, 2.9 miles of tarmac perfection, in my very humble opinion, of course. And it is, Jess, what a track it is to open with, to give our viewers and drivers a taste of things to come over the 5 competitive weeks of this season ahead.
Yes, indeed. And it is a track that is used for testing in many different series as well. So the drivers are quite familiar with this. We go to Spain, the circuit to Barcelona-Catalunya, and it's a track that rewards cars with a balanced setup. So if you don't have a balanced setup, it's going to be a little bit of a tricky situation for the drivers. It features almost every type of corner, including high and medium speed flowing corners, chicanes, tight low speed corners, as well as a long pit straight, giving you some great overtaking opportunities. And this poses an interesting challenge actually when it comes to creating a setup, as the car must have enough downforce for the corners, but not so much they'll be slowed down the main straight. So these drivers have been practicing everything. The server's been open for quite a few days now as well, so they've been able to do some practice races, practice qualifying as well. So hopefully they've practiced a lot, because this is where it really, really counts. Points do not count to the regular season, but a lot of the drivers are going to be eyeing out the competition, seeing what their nearest competitors are, as well as the you viewers at home will get an idea as to who will be the drivers will be the ones to watch. We may as well talk about those now as well, because we did the first 2 events on ACC a few months ago. The first one at Silverstone with Car Mentalist winning that first race. He's not here tonight though. He'll be back for the first round next week. And then we got the Monza where we did the second event, and we had Dexter that won that event, which he was looking very, very good as well. He was very, very happy with that. Another driver to watch out for as well. He is running ERT livery tonight, star livery tonight, with the OneHub logo as well to boot. And he's in the car, which we persuaded him to go into, but we will talk a little bit about that in a second. There are a lot of drivers that I feel like could challenge the likes of Dexter and Car Mentalist for the inaugural season ACC championship.
Yeah, there really is. Like we say, it's a very, very strong field. As you mentioned, Car Mentalist, he is going to be for the first round that we're handing out points. Not here for tonight, but he did win a quite action-packed race, I think it's safe to say, with more lead changes in the last 4 laps, and you've seen it at the Hungaroring Grand Prix. Camo Babbo is going to be here. Khalifa is going to be here. Art Connor, Gazaman. I think it's safe to say Dexter. If I was going to have to throw my hat in the ring for one to watch this season, definitely for me, Dex is going to be one to watch. Doesn't always qualify in the best position, something he has been rectifying recently when I've seen him racing. But his race consistency is just disgustingly smooth. He just gets the laps done, lap after lap. He knows when to hold them, when to fold them, when to get involved in a battle, and when not to. So yeah, definitely Dex, and obviously Car Mentalist as well. He won the inaugural event. He is beyond rapid and consistent. But yeah, I think that would be quite an easy choice to be putting your hat in the ring with someone like Car Mentalist this early in the season. And what a season it's going to be. As Jess mentioned, they've mixed up the format. We've got extra points for drivers gaining the most places, P1 through P10 and P11 through P20, so we can expect some serious battles. And these tracks are all very much designed to encourage overtaking. Spa, Silverstone, the Hungaroring, Zolder and Monza. I don't know if you can hear the smile on my face, but you should be able to, because it is beaming ear to ear, and especially with the drivers that we've got in the field. As Jess said, they're not all here for the opening evening. This is a pre-season sighter for everyone, including Jess and myself. It's the BOP 2020 that they're going to be using. 15-minute practice, 15 quali, dynamic temperature and weather as well. So we're definitely keeping the drivers on their toes, and it's going to be a fairly spectacular event I would say, Jess, for the drivers and obviously the sponsors, who I'm sure will be keenly watching as well.
Yes, we got 4 sponsors that will be sponsoring the league this season. First of all, is Next Level Racing. They've been our sponsors for as long as I can remember, and they do a lot to provide us some great prizes. And they're providing a direct drive stand to the driver who gets the most driver of the days in F1. Maybe in a couple of seasons' time, it could be extended to ACC, but at the moment is for F1. Of course, we mentioned one of our partners earlier on, ERT. We talked about the Going Gets Tough award earlier on as well. So thank you to Elite Racing Team. A few drivers obviously racing tonight. We've got Dexter, Khalifa, we've got Kamabama as well, who's also in ERT. We've got Kyle as well. Yep. So yeah, don't worry, I have not forgot him. And lots of other drivers that are, I think those are the only ERT drivers. Yes, there are, because there's some that are not here tonight. 3M Sim Racing, they're sponsoring the league by providing a pair of their sim racing gloves in the F1 league to the driver with the most poles and the driver with the most fastest laps combined this season with season 19. It used to be one for the most poles and one for the most fastest laps. It is combined, and it's the new Sim 21 gloves, which are the new gloves that 3M have. And to be honest, I am quite jealous that there's people going to be winning that, because I don't think I'm going to win one myself. But there we go. Vespertine, they're going to be supporting our championship prizes, and also they're doing our merch this season. For those of you that checked our F1 trailer, and it's available for everybody, so make sure you check out our OneHubRacing store. I need to actually double check the site for that, which I will get towards the end of the stream as well. And that is all of our sponsors and partners for ACC this season. And we can't talk too much. We got qualifying to get underway. Should we get on it?
Oh, I definitely think it is time to let the ladies, gents and race fans at home see the proverbial honeypot. There we go. It is Barcelona, and it is a very sunny track that our drivers are facing today. So the front left tyres, oh yeah, they're going to get cosy. The drivers we've got in the championship in total, we've got Khalifa, Cam Kamon, Key SF1, Camel Babo from the ERT team, Car Mentalist, Dexter from the ERT team, Art Corners Racing, Gazaman, Ponish Town, Cablo, Flying From, Blue Mosquito, KK, H Racing Green, ERT Kyle, Fleiss and Blair Grills are the drivers enrolled to take part in the 5 competitive races. This is a pre-season cycle, as we say, so it's going to be good for the drivers to get alongside one another, get a feel for one another. Of course, they've done, how many seasons is it now of Formula 1 you've done at One Hub now, sorry Jess?
We have done 18, and this is going to be our 19th season starting in September with qualifying night in the middle of August. So just a bit of a plug as well. If you're interested in signing up for season 19 in F1, make sure you go onto our website and fill in the form, of course. There is a season entry fee, I believe. If Nick could probably correct me here, it's £6 for the season, but you can also buy a race premium, which you can get you could get basically a whole year worth of racing, but you could only pay for 2 seasons, so you get 1 season technically for free. So sign up is almost full. Nice. We're almost on, I think we're almost on 90 sign-ups, and we need 100 sign-ups for 5 tiers, so we're almost full already. So get signing up if you haven't already. There's people that were taking part last season that haven't signed up yet, so if you're one of those people, just get cracking, because you don't want to wait until it's too late, of course. But obviously we're here for ACC now, but just a cheeky little plug in there, because I like F1. But yeah, sign-ups are open now. Make sure you get on it after the stream.
Definitely get yourself signed up, and there's even space in this league as well. The points don't start getting handed out until next week, so get yourself signed up for this too, and it'll be Jess and myself guiding you through. But as I said, 18 seasons these guys have been, some of them, 8 doing the F1, and now they're switching to the mighty GT3 car. So variation, ahoy, Formula 1 cars very much run all along the same lines. Well, not so much with the GT3 cars, right down to engine placement. Is it a Porsche? Well, they've got the engine over the back. Is it a Ferrari or a McLaren? They've got the engine planted in the middle, like a Formula 1 car? Or is it the AMG or the Boltley, or Bentley, as we should really call it, which has got the engine, and what a size of engine those two cars have got, planted up the front. Even the engine sizes themselves varies. 3.5 litres up to 6.2 litres. Most of them V8s. There's a couple of V10s in there. Bentley cheating. Huge aero variation as well on the cars. The rear engine cars have their aero at the front, whereas front engine cars have more balanced aero at the back. The Mercedes even comes with a front splitter. The Lambo and the Mercs are popular car choices because they're fully planted, especially in the Lambo. I'm going to have a proper look and see who's picked what for this season. And as I said, it's going to be an absolute belter of a season. All the tracks that we've got, Jess, absolutely promote high-speed overtaking. And with the points, the extra points incentive that's on offer, it really is going to be a down-to-the-wire season, and we're expecting a lot of action from some very, very quick drivers.
I do believe, though, that they do not have to run the same cars as they are for the pre-season. This is basically just for them to get a feel for the car. As long as they get their basically their cars locked in by the first round, then they should be absolutely fine. But for the ones racing tonight, I'm almost certain that these are going to be the cars that that they're racing in this season. So the OneHub Media Press, they have been in touch with our drivers this week and have been asked to get their thoughts about the season ahead. The first question was, how important was it to have a pre-season race to get the rust off the wheels and get into the swing of things? And we'll first speak to, where is he on the track, Flying Froome, who I believe in the Lambo, I think the only Lambo tonight on the grid. Or was it the Porsche? I can't see what it looks like, but there it looks like the Lambo. There we go. So he said it's good to have a feel for the car and new drivers you haven't raced with before the season starts. Dexter, obviously one of our drivers to watch. I do not want to jinx him too much tonight. He's been doing other leagues on ACC, including the one that John commentates, SOP Motorsport, and lots of other leagues as well. So John knows him quite well in ACC. I quite know him well in ACC and in F1 as well. So for him, it's for many to evaluate the competition. Khalif has been playing ACC quite a bit recently, so there isn't much rust, but he's sure other drivers who don't play the game will often make the most of it. The KK said, yes, it's good to get your consistency back. Camo Bamo says he's raced ACC quite a lot, so hopefully no rust either, but always fun to race and get back into regular competition. Blue Mosquito, where is he? There he is, in the Audi. It's good this time as he's new to the league, so we'll get a feel for where he fits into the grid. His first ever OneHub race, has for quite a few other drivers as well, so good to have him on board. And of course we have Connor, who says pre-season races are a huge help to get back into the game. Hopefully he is not too rusty. And yes, I think there's a lot of drivers that, even though they do not admit it, they will be looking to scope out the pace of their rivals today.
Definitely think so. I think we could see some mind games as well, and some of the drivers. Yeah, definitely. Will we see this many Mercedes and Bentley in the starting lineup, or some of the guys and gals perhaps not wanting to show their hand too early in the season with their car selection? Love a pre-season opener to get the juices flowing. And Dex really is 144.7 at the moment, so I'm definitely feeling slightly justified in mentioning him as one to watch, and of course he's in my beloved Ferrari as well. Camel Babo's currently in second, 2 tenths off the pace. Blue Mosquito's in third, 4 tenths back. Oh, and I tell you what, Flying Froome jumps to the 4 tenths mark as well, so there's plenty of time left on the qualifying. As you can see, 6 minutes to go, 1 minute 44 you're looking at for the lap times. So KK and Cam came on. Sorry, we'll be looking to get their tyre pressure sorted and get back out on track as soon as possible. Well, we'll go through another one of these questions, Jess. Will I do? Who will we be looking to scope out the pace of your rivals tomorrow? So, Gaza, he's been saying that he thinks he will definitely look at the stream to see who's showing some pace. So
he's not here tonight, but he's going to be watching the stream afterwards.
Wow, or is he watching it now? Hi, guys, if you're watching. Hope you've got your notepad ready to take notes. Flying Froome, he is here tonight. He's definitely here to scope out the pace of his rivals. He says he's not raced against anyone in the league, really, so it'll be nice to see where everyone is at. Do we have Cam this evening? Cam, come on, of course we do.
Yes, we do.
And he says he'll be looking to survive. Which is always, yeah, listen, if you're going to go out with a race strategy, making it to the end in one piece is not a bad one to start with. Dex, of course he is. He is in full. In fact, to be fair, I'm surprised he's in the Ferrari tonight. I thought he might have come out with a different car to try and throw his competitors off the pace. But
he wants to please you, John. He wants to.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Even a smile on my face. You love to hear it, Dex. Love to hear it. We're going to go with that. I like that answer. Khalifa, ERT driver. Expect him to be at the sharp end at the end of the season. He's saying, yeah, he's raced many of the drivers in the league before, so it's going to be interesting for him to see where he's going to fit in. Okay, now come on, I think he's playing mind games. He told the press office that not too much, he just wants to get a clean race. Short track, so finishing on the lead lap will be tough, but hopefully not too many laps down. You can do this, OKK. Camel Babo, he is definitely a full-blooded yes. He says he knows that there are a few in the league, but mostly unknown. So it will be interesting for him to see where he is pace-wise and what he can aim for during the season. So he's looking to make season-long estimations here from the pre-season race. Blue Mosquito is saying that he has really got no idea who the top guys are going to be. So this is full recce mission for him. And Connor, well, of course, he says everyone will be regardless of what they say. Connor, couldn't have put that better myself, if I'm honest. And yeah, it is definitely a track that is going to keep the drivers very, very honest indeed. We did think times to aim for would be about the 1:45s, and they're absolutely smashing those in at the moment. Very, very, very close between the top four. Fifth place is not too much of a kick in the bumper behind either, Jess. That's a very close top five, half a second between the top five there. 3 minutes to go. Qualifying's really starting to heat up here.
Yeah, it definitely is, John. And there's some drivers that have not been in this ACC league before at OneHubRacing, so we don't have any idea on what they're like unless they've been doing it in other leagues, of course. You would be expecting the likes of Dexter and Connor to be up there as well. Their aims for the season were pretty much quite high as well. Their aims for tonight, Connor is hoping to be at the front, or at least fighting to be at the front, so he's been a very much confident person, I have to say, and Dexter just wants top three. And Dexter, I thought you'd be aiming a little bit higher than that, my friend. I thought you'd be going to win the thing, but yeah, he's just setting the expectations quite low at the moment, and then if he's more confident, then you'll probably set it up high as well. Flying Froome, I can't say his name. He's just getting used to the car at the moment, because don't forget, some of these drivers, they may know ACC on the back of their hand, and some of the drivers, they're new to ACC, so they're just still getting used to it, even though they've done a few events already. So quite a mixed ability grid right now, so obviously we don't have enough drivers to do 2 tiers, and obviously don't have enough commentators to do 2 tiers, so that's why we only have one, and he hasn't driven this car that he's driven for a while, so he's hoping to have a clean race. Cam said, again, survive. Well, of course he did. Khalifa is hoping for a top 5 finish. Well, he's just in the bubble at the moment, Khalifa. He's currently sitting in 6th at the moment, so almost there, Khalifa, almost there. KK and Camo Bamo, both of them said they just want a clean race. KK just wants to be consistent, and Camo Bamo wants to drive to his ability, can't ask for any more than that. And Blue Mosquito, he just wants to see who his main competitors are, who might be on similar pace. So there's people about to start their final laps with 1 minute and 16 seconds left to go of qualifying session already. And this is just very, very exciting. I'm sure people have probably saved their best lap till last. Let's go have a look at who's in what car at the moment. So we've got Connor in the Mercedes, Blue Mosquito in the Audi. We already talked about Dexter. Camo Bamo in the famous Bentley, which is very, very brave. Quite a few Bentleys here tonight. Flying Froome in the Lamborghini, Khalifa in the Mercedes, Cablo in the Bentley, as well as Ponage Town. And we've got Kyle, Blair, Cam K-Mum and a KK in the Mercedes too. So, yeah, quite a lot of people going for the Mercedes. And if I was them, I probably would have picked the Mercedes too. Probably due to the straight line speed, John.
Oof, Connor.
Oh, look at that. Connor with a 144.5 has beaten Dexter by 6/10 or 6,000 of a second. That is very close.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure Dexter doesn't want to give up without a hurry. I think Dexter's going to go in for one final lap. He's probably seen Connor's lap time.
Yeah, he's actually, Sorry to interrupt you there, Jess. I'm just looking at a fascinating battle that the viewers at the moment can't see. So when Dex was on pole position before Connor took it from him, Dex didn't have the purple sector, any purple sectors. Then Connor came along, purpled sectors 2 and 3 to take pole. The lap, as soon as Dex crossed the line, he purpled sector 3. Went slightly quicker, but didn't quite do enough to get himself back on pole. That's why there is now 6,000. So at the moment, Blue Mosquito is the fastest man in sector 1. That Connor is the fastest man in sector 2. And Dexter is the fastest man in sector 3. So it really is split. The Mercedes, the Ferrari and the Audi are all vying for that top spot. They are right within one another's pocket. And you look at Camo Babo. He is 12 hundredths behind Blue Mosquito. And yeah, Blue Mosquito's purpled sector 1. That is ridiculously close. The top 5 drivers then, less than 4 tenths separating them. And Dex is still out on track. He's coming through Eurocar now. Oh, and
no.
He's pushed that a bit too much.
I think he's going into the pits.
No, he made a mess of it. He ran wide. He fell foul of the track limits there. His lap has been redded, so he didn't come through the RACC chicane there to end that lap. I think he just drove off to the side, and yeah, I think he's returned back to the pit. So close. It would have been interesting to see. I couldn't see his delta at the time, but it would have been interesting to find out if he was, or he's still parked at the side of the road there, that poor forlorn Ferrari. But it is. Oh, it's the front row, so that's not bad. ART and ERT side by side on the front row. 5 different manufacturers taking up the front 5 positions of the grid. And it's the same manufacturer taking up the 4 positions at the rear, which is ironic because it's the 4 Mercedes at the back, and there's a Mercedes that is on pole. 6 thousandths of a second, Jess. Does it get any closer around the track? Let's face it, 1 minute 44 a lap. It's not the shortest of laps, but to be that close, we are in for an absolute cracker here tonight, surely.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely exciting. And obviously in the F1 cars, it's a lot harder to overtake around this track. Whereas with the GT cars, I think you're probably going to see a lot more overtaking opportunities, I think, due to the fact that it's obviously a lot smaller car and has more flexibility. There's a few other things to talk about this track in terms of the characteristics. The wind direction of the circuit can change quite a bit. We don't know what the wind direction is going to be. It's probably quite variable. So it could be find it hard to find a good setup. There could be some oversteer from some of the drivers, so they got to counter that as well. And the changeable conditions, which hopefully, I don't know, there is no changeable conditions tonight. It's going to be, according to our weather forecast, it is sunny with a bit of cloud. So that is what the weather is today. No rain as of yet. I do hope we have a rainy race at some point. That will be interesting, John. But we will see. And I know which track I want to see rain at. And I probably know which track it's going to be as well. I want it to be for the first race. Come on, just spice it up a little bit, in Spa. But that's probably not going to happen. But we shall see, of course, as we're about to go into our formation lap, which is a full formation lap here today. And I think we're just about to get waited to get started then as well. Let us know your thoughts in the chat on who you think is going to be winning this race. Don't forget there is chances for for comeback points for inside and outside the top 10. So that should be pretty enthralling to watch there as well. And if it goes well in ACC, we might trial it for another season in F1. So we're just we're the guinea pigs, as it were, to try out this comeback point system. I would probably benefit in F1.
Trailblazers.
Yeah, trailblazers.
Trailblazers. Not guinea pigs.
Yes.
Trailblazers.
I would love to see it in F1 because, to be honest, I'm a person that I don't lose many positions. I either gain one, don't gain nothing, or gain loads. So I would probably be the one to benefit the most on that one. So there we go. So I'm not showing the scene at the moment. So here we go. We are about to get into some action then. So these people just keep warming their tyres at the moment. And don't forget, mandatory pit stop for fuel and tyres here today as well. So, and as you can see on the left hand side, you got the number 1 next to it. That means that they have to make one stop. Once they've made their stop with fuel and tyres, it will turn green, and that means they've done the mandatory requirement. I think they could do it from the end of lap 1, and if they do not do it within the time allocated, they will be having a big black DQ, which we do not want to see. But most of these guys have driven ACCs before. They should be fine. They're heading towards turn 7 now, and it's quite different gradients here around this track. And I'm not going to get predictions at the moment, but I did say Connor and Dexter will be ones to watch. I wasn't wrong, was I?
No, absolutely not. Plenty insider information from your F1 days, keeping an eye on these drivers. And you've absolutely hit the nail right on the head with the two drivers have taken pole position. And as Colin R. Mason, good evening Colin, was saying in the chat, how close, 0.006 seconds. I mean, how do you even define where you could lose or gain that much time between the two drivers? But yeah, Connor and Dexter absolutely putting themselves 0.3 ahead of everyone else and looking in the best position to take themselves a win here. Dex, of course, if he could win this would be his second win here at OneHubRacing on ACC, racking them up these days after a strong season at SOP and ACR. He's really is getting to grips with this Ferrari and the racing the ACC has to offer. They are coming around New Holland to finish their warm-up lap. Their brake discs will be glowing warm, to say the least. They'll be warming the tyres from the inside out. That's exactly what they need to get done. Green light, foot down, flat out, away they go. It is a long drag race into turn 1 for the drivers. Dex is going to have to go defensive, but he's got the Audi on the inside, meaning that the driver in the Bentley at the back is going to have to box himself in to make a move. But it's ERT Khalifa. He's going to come up the inside. Is he going to force the 3-wide situation at the turn 1? No, he absolutely does not. Dex is dropping places. Oh, sorry, it's not Dex. That's not Dex. That is Cablo that's hovering about there in the Bentley. Khalifa has gotten himself through. Camel Babo is pressuring as well, and Blue Mosquito is finding himself up into second place at the cost of Dex. He's gone up the inside of turn 3. Oh, Khalifa nearly takes out team leader. That bunches up the ER team, and Ponish Town then, he's going to sneak through, coming down into the first hairpin of the track. Round the left to go, and it's Connor in the lead, Blue Mosquito in second, ERT Dexter in third. He's got teammate Khalifa all over his rear spoiler. In fourth, Camel Babbles in fifth, Ponish Town is in sixth, it's Kyle in seventh, and Cablo in eighth. That is an absolutely phenomenal start from the leaders there, Jess. And it's Dexter, one of our drivers to watch. He's been overtaken. Blue Mosquito, he's taking the bull by the horns here in this Audi.
Definitely the dark horse Blue Mosquito at the moment had a very good launch off the line as well, was able to overtake Dexter there. But I'm sure Dexter won't be too worried at the moment because points are not given at this point of the race. It is given at the end. So Dexter's playing the long game right now.
In the back, sorry.
Battle at the back, I believe. Khalifa. That's Khalifa, yes, Khalifa. And this is a big battle actually, heading towards the final corner. Could Khalifa just hold it on the inside? It's just going to be very, very tight going into this final corner then. I think he's battling. I can't tell who's battling at the moment with the timings.
Ponish Town has got through, so Ponish Town has actually got through on Khalifa, and Khalifa is now defending against Camel Babble with another ERT driver, Kyle. Let's not forget Kyle. He is now closing the gap. He's in seventh. So it is an ERT trio at the moment with Khalifa, the man leading the way. Camel Babo just in his arrears with Kyle watching intently. Okeke, oh no, it wasn't. It's Cam came on, sorry, he's just run wide on the exit to turn 2 there. He's found himself just being overtaken. Sorry, so it is Okeke that's dropped the position, sorry, to Cam come on. So he made a mistake coming out with turn 2. Coming into turn 4 though, Khalifa and Camel Babo still going side by side. Ponish Town is into the hairpin already. Khalifa goes up the inside to hold the position. Camel Babo falls back into place. ERT Kyle watching intently still. We will call him the praying mantis. That's not the way to take the entrance, Camel Babo. And I tell you what, oh, is he going to go side by side on the exit? I think he's lost too much time there. I don't think he's going to be able to go side by side into Repsol. That is a brave move. Is he going to try the cut back up the inside? It's going to be a charge into the hairpin. ERT Kyle, praying mantis. He's just waiting in the background there. Are they going to go too wide into the hairpin? ERT Khalifa has made a mess of that one. He's given away 2 positions in 1. Grasshopper Kyle there. Praying mantis takes the position with Khalifa dropping back then. Camel Babo gets the move done on his teammate. Unbelievably clean racing between these 3. And yeah, Jess, as you say, the points don't get handed out until the end of the race, but all these 3 drivers are vying for position, but they're doing everything they can to make sure they all see it to the end. That was phenomenal control getting the 3 of them through that hairpin like that, and what a move to overtake and take 2 places.
This is why we should see more GT racing in Circuit to Barcelona-Catalunya, because you could overtake anywhere, whereas in F1 you just can't. So F1, make smaller cars please, so you can actually overtake like these GT cars, because they're just going side by side in places which are unimaginable, to be honest, and are very, very brave as well. So this is great to see that we can see the Mercedes being so strong around here as well, and a few people dropping by the wayside. We got Blair Grills, unfortunately, about 7 seconds off the nearest car, but I'm sure he's getting used to it right now. We're riding on board with Khalifa at the moment on the back of Carl, and we've got Blue Mosquito versus Connor for the lead as well, which should be very exciting. Dexter is just on this battle now as well, so he's clawed back just a little bit of time over to our leaders as well, so he's probably going to hope one of those 2 make a mistake so he can be back in this action as well. But at the end of the day...
Oh, Okeke, Cam, come on. Sorry, Okeke, Cam, come on. They've just had a little bit of a bumper rubbing incident there. Both drivers making it through cleanly though, but yeah, there was definitely a bit of incorrigible bump drafting as they come along through Campsa. They're coming into Lakaxa round 2 banks of the bar. They're going to stay as is. Certainly Okeke keen to get that position back, but as you said, yes, battles right through the field, and this one up at the front certainly does look like it's one again. It's going to be another ERT member, I think, playing Praying Mantis here. Dexter comes through New Holland, and he is on the drag strip. That is the start-finish line, and he can see the prey in front of him. That is a Blue Mosquito and an Art Mercedes driving Connor. 3 laps into the bag. There's only 3 laps in the bag, sorry. Less than half a second between the top 2. And look how close Dex is getting under that braking zone. The Audi so much later on the brakes, so much balance. The Mercedes, of course, can ride the curbs better than any car outside of the Bentley, I would say. And on some tracks can ride the curbs even better. But on a straight line, the Audi will definitely give it a run for its money. And in the slipstream, Dexter is definitely going to be loitering. He's going to be benefiting from all the slipstream, given that these 2 cars are weaving side to side. That is going to have him cutting through the air like a blowtorch through butter, as we can see again in the braking zone, closing right up onto the back of this battle for the lead. That's right, it is a 3-way battle for the lead halfway through lap 3 here at OneHub's inaugural ACC season. And I did promise you guys and gals at home, fireworks on track. Well, this is what you get. AMG, Mercedes, Audi and Ferrari, the top 3 cars at the moment. The Lambo flying chrome, he's dropped right down the field at the moment. Of course, started inside the top 5, giving us 5 manufacturers in the top 5. He has dropped down the field, and I'll tell you what, the battle here at the lead, Ponistown in the Bentley is putting in laps that are commensurate to those of Blue Mosquito at the moment, by the look of it. So if these 3 keep battling like this, all they're going to do is invite another battle straight in to their back door. Camel Babo, though, he might have something else to say about that, Jess. Oh, just looking in the last chicane here, Camel Babo coming under all kinds of attack then. Sorry, he's doing all the attacking. It's Ponish Town that he's trying to get past there. The two Bentleys, I got the two mixed up there. They're coming along the start-finish straight. So Ponish Town and Camel Babble. It was Ponish Town that looked like he was closing up on Dexter. He's now got his hands full. Camel Babble, just like Kyle on the start-finish straight as well. He's got Khalifa pulling into his ears, and Cam come on. We can actually see flying from there in the background in the Lamborghini. He is joined right back up. Of course, he started in the top 5. We just mentioned him, and he's got Okeke and Cam come on, who were battling themselves, and they've now just invited flying from in, much like
Here we
Dex.
go. He's going to go for the move towards turn 4. Does flying from as well, and I think he's done that perfectly as well. He's got a KK as well in this. This is going to invite an opportunity for maybe Caballero if he's quick enough to go into this fight as well. We've got pretty much 2 different car manufacturers in this bout, and I think it just goes to show that the Mercedes definitely the ones to watch, I would say, at this moment in time. So we got a KK flying through him, and actually no, it's Cam that's leading the train, my bad, and then it's flying through him that was overtaken by Okeke. So I'm getting confused with the types of cars at the moment. It is a pre-season. We get as rusty as the drivers do. So that is what it's about. Oh, there's a bit of a touch there from Okeke on flying through there. So unfortunately, they head past into towards turn 13. They're going to keep it steady at the moment. It looks like flying through was going to have another look on Cam Kimum heading towards the final few corners, but it doesn't look like it's going to at the moment. The gap has increased up front to 1.3 seconds between Connor and Blue Mosquito. But let's watch Camabamo on Ponish Town. There we go, then side by side, heading towards turn 1. It looks like Camabamo is going to have a good line heading towards this corner. Can Ponish Town defend on the exit into turn 2? Yes, he does. He just about holds on into P4, but Camabamo feeling a little bit more consistent in pace heading towards turn 3. Oh, we got Ponish Town going a bit wide there, but we're going to see. I think Camabamo has the better line into turn 4. Yes, he does. I think he just about gets it. But Ponish Town may just get the switchback that he's looking for in turn 5. Nope, he does not. So Camabamo overtakes Ponish Town, and it's up into 4th place. And brilliant stuff. And the timings won't update yet. You just have to rely on the ones on the map. Unfortunately, the ACC doesn't get away with a timing tower glitch like F1 does. We have it too in ACC, unfortunately. But Ponish Town gets P4. Dexter's all over the back of Blue Mosquito now.
Yeah, he is, and that was an absolutely great move. He exited up to the Worth corner, round into campsite, and he's got that position done. But as you say, Art Corner, Blue Mosquito and Dexter, they are the trio still in the lead of the race. Art Corner is trying to extricate himself from that situation there. You can see the gap between the Mercedes and the Audi has increased slightly, with the gap between Blue Mosquito and the Audi and Dexter in my beloved Ferrari has visibly closed. So it's going to be Dex enjoying the slipstream still on this lap, where the Audi is definitely going to have to get his running boots on to get caught back up there as they come in to Elf. This amazingly quick chicane, so easy to make a mistake here, all about the exit speed, getting the weight of the car exactly where you need it, getting that foot down and running as far wide, letting the grip of the car take you out to the left hand side before you come, of course, into Repsol and then the Seat hairpin. Deck getting himself an absolutely fabulous apex there, still chased away. Blue Mosquito though, he's got himself a great run out of there as well, coming in the hairpin. Oh, Dex has gone a bit deep there. That's going to compromise his exit speed. It really is a game of ping pong here, with the blue Audi car in the middle, seeming to be the ball being batted between Connor and Dexter. A three-way battle. Camel Babble then 9.4 seconds down on this battle here for third. He's got the move done on Ponish Town. He now finds himself 1.5 seconds ahead of Ponish. So now that he's got the move done, he's getting himself some clear air. How much can he eat into this gap? 48 minutes still to go. And of course, mandatory pit stops for all the drivers here at Barcelona. You're looking at, to change their tyres and take on fuel, you're looking at 68 seconds. 1 minute and 8 seconds is the amount of time you're going to spend in the pit if it all goes smoothly. Getting yourself in there, getting down to the 30 mile an hour, getting the engine stopped, getting it started again, and getting yourself in a safe, timely manner. Of course, speeding in the pit lane, you will incur a drive-through penalty and potentially a stop-go 30-second penalty, as will too many track limit violations. The fourth warning from the stewards, of course, will be the one that brings you the shiny prize of a drive-through and a stop in the pits and a whole drop in positions. 7 laps in, no Art Corner, Blue Mosquito and Dexter not having too many problems with the track limits despite the close proximity of the racing and the driving that they're doing at the moment. The Ferrari driver still intently watching Jess, and I tell you, Mosquito getting himself out and in the slipstream there, and it's just letting Dex close back up. This really is just a massive game of cat and mouse, and this one, it could be right down to who decides to blink first and take that mandatory pit stop at this rate.
This is absolutely insane between these three titans, as it were, as well, of ACC as well. We didn't know much about Blue Mosquito, but we definitely do now. He is a driver on a mission, and he wants to be the ones that challenges the guys up the front. He was one of the drivers that did not know many drivers in the league, but I'm almost certain that Blue Mosquito is going to be on everyone's radar after tonight as well, so that should be very, very exciting. And just a quick note to point out as well as the game stewards as well, just like in the F1, for the first time in ACC at OneHub, we do have real stewards as well that will be stewarding a few days after the race. The stewards office will be open, I think, after the race or at midnight, I'm not entirely sure, and then they have about a day or so to submit their reports, if there is any. Hopefully that there's none, so the stewards have a peaceful, I would say, Thursday evening, which I believe that's when they're going to be doing the report. So hope they will be having a peaceful Thursday evening if they do so. There is about 3 in total, I believe. 3 or 4 stewards in total, mixture of ACC and F1 stewards, of course. Most of the tracks are in F1, of course, as well, so they know the similar characteristics as well. And of course, Dexter's one of our stewards as well, and he's also the man who has organised this ACC league. He is the head coordinator of ACC, and he's been doing a marvellous job getting this set up and doing a great job in third. He wants to get past Blue Mosquito sooner or later, though, and we'll just have to find out what happens. Meanwhile, Khalifa is about to challenge Kyle for 6th place. He's going to probably get it, actually. Kyle's gone a bit wide. This could be Khalifa's advantage to gain it heading towards turn 4, and I think he's got it. Yes, he has got it. Absolutely sensational from the ERT drivers, fighting every fibre of their being at the moment. Khalifa wants to gain the comeback points for sure at the moment, as he's up into 7th place. I think he's dropped a few positions from his starting position, but he doesn't count at the moment. Flying from where's this pace coming from? He's starting to gain position all of a sudden. He's right on the back of Khalifa. Just to point out as well, Cam started 11th, and it is in started 12th. It's in 11th position right now. Khalifa started 6th. He's in 7th place. And we got look, fine throw, could get Kyle. He could get Kyle into turn 10. Lay on the brakes as well, both of them. You can afford to do that maybe in the Lambo. Lambo are the late brakes at the end of the day. Flying from sensational stuff once again, up into 8th place. He's dropped a few positions as well. And
big contact, Okeke. Okeke, Cablo and Cam Kamon are having an absolute battle royale, 9th through 11th. Cam Kamon's actually survived this one. It was Okeke and Cablo made themselves just a little bit too wide for one another going into the final chicane La Quexa, and it was both cars, quite frankly, that came worst off there. Cam Kamon is now off into the distance, so he's up 2 places. Okeke and Cablo, as I say, Cablo down to 10th and Okeke down to 9th, but they've been battling side by side. Actually went side by side through Worth, the uphill right-hander, left-hander chicane, which is bears more than a passing resemblance, of course, to the Schumacher S's at the Nürburgring, but they managed to pull that off side by side. One of the most difficult places to do it, but then coming through the next corner, a bit of contact, and we see Cam Kamon off and running, Cablo and Okeke trying to regather themselves. So there's still action-packed right through the field, as you're saying, Jess. Flying from, he has shown some phenomenal pace. I'm just watching him at the moment, and he is in that Lamborghini, and he is closed right up on the back of Khalifa, who's not losing any time at all to Ponage Town, who has been overtaken by the ERT member Camel Babel. So it really is ERT all the time at the moment, with 3rd, 4th, 6th and 7th, and looking at putting battles on these positions. Oh, and I tell you what, Khalifa, he's run a bit deep there, and the Lamborghini's absolutely going to take him up the inside into the left hand. He's going to have his nose in front into the right, and Eurocar is going to be a very lonely corner now for Flying from the Lamborghini once again. Oh, and I tell you what, Ponage Town, he's run wide coming into Eurocar. So there we go, the Lambo not quite with the fresh air I thought he would have coming into there. The RACCC chicane into New Holland, and we could see another drag race along the start-finish line. Flying from, I think he is now going to have to be the one to watch. We're coming along the start-finish straight for lap number 10 in this inaugural race. We're 19 minutes in, still 41 minutes and a whole lot of pit stops to go. And Flying From is absolutely carving his way through the field in this Lamborghini. We talked about the Bentleys and the Mercedes coming into their own at this track. Well, the Italian Raging Bull is absolutely charging through the field at the moment. And it is Ponage Town. He has got his eye on. He's up the inside through turn 4. Ponage runs wide, and that is deal done. Signed, sealed, delivered. Signed, sealed, and delivered even. I'm salivating at the overtaking here, but the Lambo absolutely carving his way through the field. Can he get caught up the Camel Babel? Can he catch the battle at the front? And yes, the battle at the front is absolutely coming alive as much as the battle at the back is, with these three drivers still right in one another's pockets. And ooh, Dex getting a bit close there through that hairpin. This is some fun times we're having here. Mercedes versus Audi versus Ferrari. In the chat, who do we think's winning it? Which manufacturer is going to be victorious on the top step of the podium? Which driver is going to hold their nerve right to the end? And are we going to ever get a point in time where we don't have three cars battling out for one position? Oh, the Audi's got a lot of curb there. Dex is going to have to run out the corner. Oh, Dex has run wide.
Oh no, Dexter!
He's matched a mistake for mistake there.
Yeah, I think he was following the same line as Blue Mosquito there, and it's probably costed him a little bit as well. So, unfortunate, but that's allowing Connor to have some breathing space up front now. A second separating between him and Blue Mosquito, and a further 6/10 separating between them and, obviously, Dexter. I've got to say, Ponage Town is having a very good race. He's gained 2 positions off the start. Camo Bamo stayed exactly where he is. Blue Mosquito has gained 1. Connor has gained no places at all. He's started in the lead and stayed in the lead. How about that? Flying Throne stayed exactly where he is right now as well. I'm trying to see. Cablo has dropped a few positions. Khalifa almost in P6, but he's trying to go onto the back of Ponage Town. You can see the different skill level that is coming to effect right now. I think Khalifa's doing very well managing his tyre and fuel load right now. You've got to calculate your fuel as much as possible. Kyle has gained 1 position as well, so it's very, very close in the top 10 for the comeback point, I can tell you that. And outside the top 10, oh, I think, I don't know, because they all lost 1 place, so it's even Stevens for the comeback point outside the top 10 right now. So we are keeping involved at the moment. The gap's closed up at the front, but let's watch Khalifa on Ponage Town right now. Looks like Ponage Town might be struggling past turn 9, heading towards turn 10. We got hard in this as well. I'm sure that the ERT boys will be definitely working together as a team there to try and make sure that they could get the slipstream that they needed. We have Gaza in the chat who is rooting for Dexter in the Ferrari, and he's hoping that everyone is having a good day. So hope you're having a good evening as well, and hopefully we will see you on the chat next week. Looking forward to having you on board as well with us next week, but I'm sure you'll be relaxing. Right now, just an interesting fact about Gazza's tyre choice, car choice for next week onwards. He's going for the Bentley, John.
Oh, so he's taking the Bentley, the long hauler.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, definitely a good choice as a good, solid all-rounder. Obviously, I'd go for the Ferrari. But no, Bentley is going to be an excellent choice. I think, are we going to see the drivers in the Bentleys tonight take them forward into the series? I think we probably are. The Mercedes, I think some of the Mercedes drivers might change their cars. I'd be surprised if we don't see a Honda. I'm going to be honest, but we might even see a
Can we see a
BMW or a
McLaren,
Porsche or two.
please? I would like to see a McLaren. No one,
Yes.
I've looked at the pre-race interviews earlier on and no one has picked McLaren. Actually, we'll go through and try and look at the battles as well, so I am multitasking here as well. So I'll follow the midfield battle with Ponish Town, Khalifa and Carr, because that's the closest at the moment. So, Gaz, like we said, in the Bentley. Flying Throme, he's keeping his Lambo, so this is his one race practice where he's having to go at the moment. Dexter's not giving too much away, he just said yes, but obviously he's probably going for the Ferrari. The KK, the Lexus, but he's in the Mercedes at the moment, so I'm guessing he's trying the Mercedes tonight, and if he gets on better than with the Mercedes, he's going for the Mercedes. If he's thinks that the Lexus is better, he's going for the Lexus. Camo Babo is probably going for the Bentley, he's in the Bentley tonight. Because it offers him good balance of pace and forgiving enough on the sausage curbs, and I think that's what's helping him right now with these curves around Spain, I have to say. Blue Mosquito, Audi, he's in the Audi tonight, and Connor, he just said yes, but I'm almost certain with the pace that he's doing tonight, he's probably going to keep the Mercedes for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I would certainly say so. The Mercedes is definitely strong at Hungaroring, Zolder, Monza. I mean, and yeah,
In most tracks.
as long as you're a strong driver, you can do well at Silverstone and Spa. Let's face it, Spa is the great equaliser because it is the greatest track ever invented, and that is just absolute
Agreed.
the fact of today. So we'll just there we go. Look at that. One Hub Racing here, bringing you awesome racing and genuine dyed-in-the-wheel facts there. Consumer advice: just race at Spa. It's so much better. It's going to be an absolute cracking.
That's in F1 as well, I believe. That's in F1 season, I believe, coming up. We're going to be racing at Belgium. So
Yeah. And get your rain dances on. Everyone that's been in my chats before, you know what to do. Get the rain dance on. We want to see the rain at Spa. How can you have Spa without water?
Exactly.
You can't have a Spa without water. You know what I mean? You can't do it. Absolutely, definitely not. So yeah, let's get the rain hats on. The rain dances. Gaza has suddenly slinked away to practice in the rain. No, you'll be fine in the Bentley, Gaza, man. Thank you for asking in the chat, mate. I'm very good. Thank you. Sonny Bob, it is indeed fire, my friend. There's absolute cracking battle. Ooh, Dex. Ooh, he's pulled the trigger.
He's in the
35
pits.
minutes to go. He's in the pits. Dex has pulled the trigger. He's the first man to take his mandatory pit stop. 68 seconds is the least amount of time that he's going to lose. So just over the half lap mark. So he's going to come out just behind some traffic. Ooh, and I tell you what, so it's the battle between Connor and Mosquito then. Can Connor now, with a clear rear view mirror, keep it clear? Or is Mosquito, who's the driver I meant to say, he's got a clear rear view mirror, now close the gap because he doesn't have it defended? Just as I say that, he finds 3/10 in sector 1. They come downhill, and I tell you what, into the hairpin. Blue
Khalifa's
Mosquito
in as
then.
well. Khalifa's in as well. He's following his ERT compatriot, doing the same strategy. So he wants to get the undercut on Carl and Ponish Town, who he was battling. And fair play to him, to be honest. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's two prime examples then. Will the undercut work? We will find out in two groups of the field. And I'll tell you what, it's a testament, I think, again, to Dexter's driving ability. You now look at the gap between Mosquito and Connor. It has closed up once again, and very considerably. 1.1 seconds was at the last sector, and yeah, you don't need to be a mathematician to see it's slightly less than that now. Coming through the timing belt, it's going to update. Oh, they both need a good hairpin here. Keep the car balanced, though he's run a bit wide there. Don't go falling foul of the track limits. Oh, the Bentley didn't run the curb. You really want to hit a bit of the curb there on the left to keep the car balanced. Team counterintuitive, it's an ERT Khalifa. What did we talk about? Or what did I talk about? And there it is. It's a stop go at 30 seconds.
So speeding in the pit lane.
Stop go pit. Oh, and I tell you what, Froome has come in Ho, so he is answered in kind. He didn't fancy getting the on-track overtake done. He gets slowed down in time. He'll have seen the notification that one of his fellow drivers has got, apparently, for speeding in the pit lane. You better believe he was hitting all his markers there. So Connor then, he is off into the lead of the race. All on his own. Or no, he's not, sorry. I'm getting confused with Dex and Khalifa there. There's too much going on. They're two. Who came into the pits? Oh, it was Flying Frome that came into the pits, not Blue Mosquito.
Now, Blue Mosquito is actually battling with Connor right now, and the gap's decreased to 4 tenths per second. This could mean everything for these two at the moment. This could be sensational if Blue Mosquito can pull it off. He's got to get that move done before he goes into the pits, because then most likely these two will be pitting at exactly the same time. So Blue Mosquito is probably going to think for a way through. He's also going to get past, I believe that's Blair Grills in front of them, a lapped car. Nope, it's not Blair Grills, it is Khalifa, who is a lap down because, of course, he has pitted. And, oh no, another, excuse me, another stop go penalty for the same reason, this time to Blair Grills. I just hope it's not going to be the third one. Please, just follow the briefing. They should have read the briefing notes, but it looks like it's just an easy mistake to make around one of these tracks. It's not like F1 where it drives the car for you at the exit of the pit lane. You have to drive it yourself in ACC, which is probably a lot harder, but it is like real life, of course. Blue Mosquito it's got a brilliant run into turn 1, but I think Connor is going to close the door. Both of these drivers staying out, so they're not going to try and respond to the likes of Dexter. Camo Bama, though, does exactly the opposite. He pits as well. Let's see what Ponage Town does. He stays out, so does Kyle. But we'll find out what the remaining people do towards halfway through the session. We're almost halfway already. It's gone so fast. Let us know who your favourite is so far. And if you are interested and thinking that you should sign up, sign-ups are still open, I believe. If my maths are, I think we still got a few more sign-ups open.
3, I think.
3. So, because obviously we cater for a 20-car grid. And if you are seeing the action and if you have ACC installed on your PlayStation, why not sign up as well? I think it's around about, it's $2.50 for a season, £2.50 that is, for the season. So not much at all. And make sure you do that. I believe Khalifa has served his stock go. Yes, he has. And luckily he is. Let's see when he comes out the pits. Please do not speed. He hasn't sped this time. Thank goodness, but he's going to be a long way behind, unfortunately. He's not going to be in that freeway car battle anymore, I don't think. He's already, he's behind everybody else. But luckily for him, it's the pre-season race, not race 1. So he's going to make sure he does not make exactly the same mistake in Spa. Cam below, Cam and a KK is in the pits. And Connor, our race leader, has pulled the trigger, as well as Kyle. They're both in. Actually, not Kyle, Blair Glill serving his stock go. Sorry, my bad. They look the same. They got the same livery. But Connor, our race leader, is in importantly.
Yes, he is. So that leaves Blue Mosquito then 17 laps in. He is off into the lead. Connor in the pits. So, of course, we want to know when... Oh, there's Kyle just coming into the pits as well. In fact, let me just keep an eye on that. So it's Dexter then, who I am definitely keeping an eye on here. Has this worked out for him? Flying Frome is looking to get another overtake done on Camel Babo as well, in fact. So Kyle's in the pits, Connor's in the pits. Dexter's in the Ferrari coming through Sector 3. You can see Eurocar tight left. Sorry, tight right into the left. And then back round to the right, the RACC chicane. Connor is still stationary. Dexter is coming through New Holland and he's on the start-finish straight. And I'll tell you what, Connor is moving.
Oh,
so is Dexter. This is unbelievable. Dex has taken the lead of the race. And I'll tell you what.
Has he?
Yes, he has.
Oh, yeah, he has.
Dexter has absolutely taken the lead of the race. He finds his ERT teammate very compliant in front of him, letting him through. And I'll tell you what, he's going to get a helping hand from another ERT teammate, Khalifa, who had to quickly get out of the way because Khalifa actually came out behind after serving his stop go 30-second penalty. So that's a 1 minute 36 drop in time found himself behind Dex Dexter, who was putting in a charge, and Dex really was putting in a charge. He is effectively our on-track race leader because Blue Mosquito
Is in.
has now come into the pits. Ponish Town is coming through Sector 3. He's going to come into Eurocar. He has come on, in 9th, just behind him. It's only Ponish Town left to take his pits. Blue Mosquito is still rolling towards his pit box. Dexter, he is on the back straight. He is coming into Lukaxi. He was in a very similar position when Connor came into the pits. Dex, we were calling one of his teammates earlier the praying mantis because Kyle hung on in there and took 2 positions. Well, Dex has been toying with his lunch. I will tell you, he is sat on the Serengeti, proudly stroking his mane, watching the battle between Mosquito and Connor in front of him. And I'll tell you, he has got the bug spray out, and I think he's swatted both of them. Blue Mosquito is very much stationary in the pits. Dexter is very much not stationary. He is moving at full tilt along the start-finish line to complete his 18th lap around this circuit, and he is in the lead, and it is a bigger lead over Blue Mosquito than he had over Art Connor. Is Art Connor going to maintain second place? He has.
There we
so
go.
The undercut worked for Dex. It worked for Dex. It did not work for Blue Mosquito though. But Dexter in the lead with Art Connor second. Blue Mosquito in third, Jess. How is that for the pit stops taking an effect on the race? Unbelievable.
That's insane, I have to say. And I was worried about Blue Mosquito when he saw the likes of Connor and Dexter passing him as well. And Blue Mosquito was thinking, hang on, I should have done the undercut. And I have to say, undercut, more powerful around this track than anything. So, you know, they've got to judge the pit lane losses. They probably have been practicing as well with which tracks have got the undercut factor or the overcut factor. And yeah, I did say Dexter was being a bit patient at the start of the race. And we got our first drive-through penalty for track limit, and that is okay. So he has to come in within a few laps before he gets disqualified. So let's hope he does not get disqualified. But yeah, Dexter had a poor start, but his undercut definitely covered off that. He definitely wanted to take advantage. And look at the gap between him and Connor and Blue Mosquito. He's absolutely nailing his lap times as well. He's showing that he's a man on a mission. He has never won a driver's title at OneHub before. He's won the Constructors in season 18 last year in F1, but never won a driver's title. Could this be the season that he wins his first ever driver's title at OneHubRacing?
I'll tell you what, if he does, it would be absolutely well deserved. I said before the stream, do feel bad. Insider information on some of the drivers. What can you do when you know, and if you don't know, then now you do. ERT Dexter is the real deal. He won't always qualify in the top 10. He won't always qualify in the top 5. Sometimes won't even qualify. In fact, I guarantee he probably won't even qualify top 5 all season. Will he be on the podium at the end of the race? You know what they say, qualifying is vanity, race finish is sanity. And Dex is definitely one of the sanest drivers you're going to see. Absolutely used his race IQ through the roof. Watched the battle in front of him, didn't get involved, lost the position, started on the front row of the grid, lost second place in 4 corners, and just sat back and watched. Came in, did his thing. We're 19 laps in, only 24 minutes left to go. 6 seconds. He now finds himself ahead of the driver. He was a second and a half behind for the first stint. Mr. Consistency. And I think obviously he'll be channeling, because I do know as well that the winner of the 24-hour Spa race was not only in a Ferrari, the same Ferrari that Dex is driving. He's actually from Dex's hometown, one of the drivers in that car. So Dex is channeling his inner Danish. He has definitely been stocking up on the bacon rolls. In fact, that's going to be my question for driver of the day. What colour of sauce do you have on your bacon rolls? Red or brown? No, I'm totally kidding. We do want to know, it's the important things. Okeke still got a stop-go 30-second penalty. Dexter absolutely nailing the rest of the field. And Blue Mosquito, I think now, he's definitely keeping Art Connor very, very honest indeed. Just lurking there in the background. And talking of lurking as well, Jess, the lone Lamborghini, Mr. Flying Frome, he has made his way from 4th or 5th back down to 12th, and then all the way back up to 4th again. Could we see him? 10 seconds is the gap, with 22 minutes left to go. Flying Frome, what do we think? Is he a podium contender here, perhaps?
Anything is possible in ACC, anything can happen in ACC, and it usually does. That's a saying I like to say every day. It's going to be a tough call for him, but I've known him he also races, I believe, in ACC on PC as well, so he does ACC everywhere, to be fair, and I've heard some great things about him, so I think he's like Dexter. He doesn't do well in qualifying sometimes, but he's absolutely brilliant in terms of race trim, and he's proven that today as he heads towards turn 9, looking very committed with this Lamborghini as well. I'm a bit shocked why not many people have picked the Lamborghini as well, because most of the GT3 seasons I've commentated, whether it's ACC or Project Cars, so a lot of people pick Lambos, and it just looks so nice, but it's so hard to drive. And there's also another, I believe it's the Lamborghini Huracan, because there's also another spec of Lamborghini as well.
Yeah.
There's another spec of Lamborghini as well, which I commentated my first ever ACC race on. It's the Super Trofeos as well, so I believe that's only on PC, unless it's on PlayStation as well, but that's quite fun to drive as well. But yeah, I'm glad Frome's in that Lambo. He's gained, I think, about a second on Blue Mosquito then, so he's closing a little bit. KK still having that stock go looming, so he's got to serve it at some point.
Yeah, 3 laps.
3 laps then, otherwise he'll get disqualified. KK is the man of socials. He's in charge of our social media as well. I do a few posts here and there, such as the Live Now tweets, but majority of the other posts that you see are from a KK. So, but he's not doing very well in 11. But he still could be winning a chance for a point. With the comeback points, so I believe it also is OneHubRacing points, because it's 12 drivers racing tonight. Everyone gets points as long as you finish, so that's all good. But we will have a full grid hopefully next week, so there'll be less chances to score points if you're like 13th or below. So we'll find out very, very soon. So Connor is going past turn 9, and he's got Blue Mosquito catching up him. Dexter's going through turn 12. That's how far ahead he is. That is just amazing stuff. Ponish Town is 2.6 seconds behind Carl. They're just starting to get into their rhythm. Not much battling happening at the moment. But remember in Monza, we saw the battles close up towards the end of the race. That is where we're going to see the action, I think.
I think so, and there is actually a battle going on. It's just inside the drivers' heads at the moment, because I can tell you, Blue Mosquito, he is maintaining the gap to Art Connor, which he will be aware of, but he will also be acutely aware of the fact that Flying Frome has taken at least 3 to 5 tenths a lap. Now that I've said that, I'm just going to wear him across the board, and if I'm right, it should be about 8.6 seconds. Oh, it's back to 10.2. So there we go. Blue Mosquito has responded in kind and made a mockery of my summation, so thanks very much for that, Mr. Audi driver. But Flying Frome, he is putting in some Olympically quick laps. I mean, he's still lapping in the 144s, low 145s. Mosquito was struggling. He was in the high 45s. He's just done a 44.7, which is his quickest lap of the race so far. And he really, really needed that, because Flying Frome was definitely closing that gap, and that corner was definitely sneaking away a couple of tenths at a time. And now 1.8 seconds. So not only has Blue Mosquito made a mockery of my Flying Frome summation, the whole Art Corner gap has completely gone out the window as well. So yeah, that'll be the last time I ever get to commentate on these cars. But 22 laps in, and Art as well is now 4.8 seconds. I'll tell you what, the slowest driver now in the top 4, Jess, is actually Dex. He's leading the race. The gaps are closing all through the field, and Flying Frome and Dex are the 2 drivers that are struggling at this late point of the race. Of course, Dex did coming to the pits earlier to change his tyres. So his are going to be a few more laps worn than his competitors. But in a race length this short, and with the fact that these cars can easily do an hour on a set of tyres, 32, an extra 2 or 3 laps wear around the 30-minute tyre usage mark shouldn't, you would think, make that much of a difference. But again, making a mockery, our corner 4.6 seconds now behind Dexter. Blue Mosquito 1.8, so the gap being maintained. But again, flying through, he's taking another 3 tenths. He's back down to 9, just under the 10-second gap there. So it is cat and mouse here. The concentration on these drivers' faces will be very, very, very real at this point in time. The slightest of mistakes, and they absolutely know positions will be lost. And at the moment, it is podium positions that are being fought for. And it's like a game of high-speed chess at the moment. 4.7 now between Connor and Dex, 1.5 between the Mosquito and Art Connor. 17 minutes left to go. So still got about 10 laps worth of racing. And I tell you, I would love to have one of those little graphics that tells you, you know the ones I'm talking about, Jess? Striking distance within.
The AWS graphics, yes. It's not, sometimes it's not that accurate, but, you know, it just gives you a little bit more suspense, I have to say. But I think the quickest driver out of anyone is Blue Mosquito, but Connor is catching up too, so they could be even in pace. But he's got, I think, Lap's car right in front of them. So Blue Mosquito, yeah, it is Cam. So Blue Mosquito's got to try and get away from the traffic ASAP, because otherwise you're going to lose so much time to the likes of Connor. And luckily Cam has given Blue Mosquito the slipstream as well, so he's kind of helping. Cam is defending. I'm not sure if he knows that he's being lapped. Yes, he does know he's being lapped. That's all good. Panic over. Now is within 1.2 seconds. And we got another drive-through for track limits. So KK got one earlier, and Cablo's got one now, unfortunately, so we will have to go in as well. I think we've seen that a lot more today than we've seen in the event as well, which it is quite known for track limits in Spain around ACC, more than any other series, to be honest. So it is quite common, of course. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to get the podium? And who do you think will be one to watch after the end of this race when we head to the first ever round next week at 7 PM? I'm just buzzing already to start. 90-minute race around Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium at the Ardennes. Boys, the track where it has the highest amount of rainfall in most tracks. Yes, I'm hinting rain. Dexter, if you're watching, rain. There we go. But I won't hint too much. Anyway, Blue Mosquito's just dropped about a few tenths on Connor that lap. So, yeah, Connor, I think, is a lot quicker than Blue Mosquito at the moment. So, I think Connor getting away from the traffic quicker than Blue Mosquito has helped him a little bit. So, let's see. And Connor, I think, has dropped a little bit to Dexter, because it was around about 4 seconds a moment ago. Now it's 4.2. So, Dexter, I think, John, is responding to his rivals.
Yeah, I think he is. There's definitely a bit of that going on right through the field. Gaps are being steadied ever so steadily there. 4.2 seconds between Connor and Dexter. Still 1.5 between Mosquito and Connor, and Froome still lurking at the 10-second mark there. Polish Town looks like he's trying to get himself up one position. He's got ERT Kyle just ahead of him. And he is going to try, I would say, and get a move done on track. He's dropped a couple of places since we've come out of the pits. He was showing some good pace very early doors, but he's dropped that off now. But it is this battle still up at the front, which is keeping us well and truly intrigued. Blue Mosquito's found 4 tenths, and then he's run deep. And there's a Mercedes off track.
Someone else has gone wide as well. Yeah.
Okay. That's
probably an ERT driver, because the ERT boys, apart from Kyle, of course, are running in their infamous blue cars to represent that they are in ERT. So, yes. So, I don't know. I think it might be who? It's not Khalifa, is it? I can't tell which Mercedes it is.
I think it might have been. because he is back down in 10th at the moment.
It is hard to tell, but hopefully Khalifa can fight back. And look, Connor is catching. He's found about 3 or 4 attempts on Dexter. The pressure is on now. We could see a battle of the Titans until the end of this race. And Blue Mosquito is winning a second as well. This could be a three-way fight for all we know as well. Blue Mosquito may be saving the best till last. We've got 13 minutes left of this race. I know it's only pre-season, but it doesn't feel like a pre-season race. They're giving it everything. The drivers were asking if they were scouting this race for pace, and I'm sure most of them are at the moment. And I'll be interested to see when the post-race interview thread comes out a little bit later on in about an hour or two time as to what drivers they now have on their hit list as ones to watch as well. We'll be keeping a close eye on as well. Maybe they'll be watching other ACC races with them in it. Flying Throne, for example, the Flying Lambo, as I like to call him now. I'm sure that people will be watching his races from now on to scout a little bit of his pace at this moment in time as well. Blue Mosquito, I would like to find out what leagues Blue Mosquito is in, because I'm almost certain he does ACC. He's catching.
Oh, Khalifa.
Khalifa's
he's up the inside. The cam, come on. He's up the inside. He's going to go around the outside.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
As well.
Beautiful move from Khalifa. He's up into 9th position. And Blue Mosquito could catch up onto the back of, I think it's...
that's Camel Babble. That's Camel Babble. So he's blue flagging. Camel Babble's in fit. Oh!
No, it's not. It's Connor. It's Blue Mosquito on the back of Connor.
Oh, yeah, so it is. Yeah, but for the bit of a wipeout, Camel Babble has been... there's been a coming together with a back marker there. Cam come on and Camel Babble have come together. He was in 5th place. Sorry, that's what I was keeping an eye on there. But you're right, yeah, there is a battle royale brewing up at the front of the field. The gap between Dex and Connor is definitely going to steady now that Connor is going full defend mode. 11 minutes and he's got a whole rear view mirror full of Audi badge at the moment coming along the start finish straight. 27th time of asking into turn 1. They're going to come and it's definitely slipstream engaged. He's going to pop out the slipstream. Is he going to look for a defensive move? No defensive move comes. He falls back into line. So he's going to have to stay in check through this next 2 corners. He could potentially try something under the bridge, but we've got ERT Kyle there. So neither of them are going to get the full-blooded exit they would have liked, but both get the same exit. The Audi looks like he's going to go up the inside, way too far back to try anything like that. He's just going to hug that curb on the right again. Try and focus on keeping the exit speed as high as possible. Get right back into that slipstream to make the move. Here they come into turn 5, the left-handed hairpin up into Worth. The very, very, very quick chicane. Again, so easy to lose so much time with the wrong exit speed through these corners. Blue Mosquito absolutely maximising every inch of the track at the moment, trying to close down on Art Corner and take back the 2nd place that he actually took from Dexter on the first lap. 4 corners in, he took 2nd place. He's now been, both have been gazumped by Dexter, who's off and running in the lead, and it's Connor who is once again defending wholeheartedly from Mosquito. But this time it's a battle for 2nd and 3rd rather for 1st and 2nd. As you were through the rest of the field, looks like Camel Babble has recovered and he is maintaining 5th place. He's got a big gap back to Kyle. Ponystown has gathered himself as well. He's in 7th, Cablo 8th, Khalifa 9th, Cam Come On 10th, Blair Grills in 11th, and OKK, after serving a couple of penalties, finds himself in 12th. But the top 3 still, and I'll tell you what, Blue Mosquito's made a bit of a mistake then coming through New Holland, the last corner, and it's now 1.2 seconds is the gap. Let's just have a look there actually. So Blue Mosquito's last lap was a 1 minute 46.6. That's the slowest lap he's done all race. And I tell you what, he's looking a bit squirrely there. I think he might have had a bit of a lock up. There could be a bit of a flat spot issue on those tyres. Connor will definitely pounce and increase that gap if he can. His last lap 1:45.8. The Audi though still very much keeping in check. He's got them back under control. 30-degree track temperature, so certainly won't be cooking the tyres. There'll be plenty of life left in them after a 30-minute stint. So we could still see some action unfolding here for absolutely sure. Dexter, And I'll tell you what, there we go. We talk about Blue Mosquito losing a bit of time. Connor's definitely found a bit of time. Now only 3.6 seconds. So they've got 3.5 seconds. So Connor and Mosquito still going hammer and tongs, still managing to close that gap on Dex. You can see Dex in the foreground.
Dexter wants to win this. He definitely wants to win this. That's why he's been pushing these lap times. And when he saw in that Connor Delta is sort of closing in a little bit, I'm sure Dexter is using that as momentum to push even further, because these are two fast drivers chasing at him. And I wonder if these two drivers will be working together just a little bit more to close in on a Dexter, because that will be good teamwork if you could do it. Obviously, there's no constructors in ACC in terms of teams. You're just driving yourself alone, but I'm sure there's going to be mind games if you're in maybe the same esports team, or if you're working together towards a common goal. We don't know. So, you know, this is what these two drivers are going to be having to fight for and deliver, as we've got 7 minutes left to go of this race. Blue Mosquito 6 tenths now. He's finding his feet once again as we head towards turn 4. 4 tenths now, so he's gained 2 tenths on this opening set of corners. So the Audi performing a lot better than the Mercedes right now. So wherever that flat spot that he has found earlier is not coming back to bite him just yet. Past turn 5, heading towards a little kick of turn 6, and now heading towards turn 7. Let's see what the gap is now. I think it's around 4 tenths still, maybe in a few tenths closer, we don't know. Then we can see where Blue Mosquito is struggling more than Connor, heading towards turn 9. And this could be where Blue Mosquito goes for the move. Dexter's gained a few tenths on Connor. Dexter must be loving Connor and Blue Mosquito fighting right now. And the KK is in the pit lane. So I believe he's having trouble there. He must have got damaged somewhere. But at least he's still going, because there still could be a chance for the Going Gets Tough award at the end of the season. We haven't even started the season yet. They're just warming up for the season ahead. And Blue Mosquito just lost about 5 or 6 tenths there. So he must have been struggling in that final sector. But I think it's all going to be, between Dexter and Connor for that race win. And Blue Mosquito, I think he's got a comfortable gap to get the podium still. So the podium is all set, but these drivers can't become complacent, John.
Yeah, no, definitely not. You will absolutely, concentration is absolutely key, especially in the closing stages. The gap now between the race leader and second place, 3.2 seconds, 1.1 seconds. You can visibly see Blue Mosquito in the background there as well. And in fact, he's in the foreground, coming round the right-hander. So yeah, concentration absolutely key right through the race. The slightest of mistakes in the braking zone, you run deep and you can see the gap close, much like we're seeing here. Kept very much on his toes as that Connor led the race for such a long period. Oh, and he's run well, and there you go. It just goes to show you slightest miscalculation into the braking zone and yourself way too deep. And in these cars, you definitely, if you get the brakes wrong and you brake yourself too late, you need to stay in a straight line to scrub that speed. If you try and turn the wheels while you're braking, you're just going to brake even further, and it's going to go even worse. The last thing you want to do is get these tyres sandy, especially at this late stage in the race. Dex 3.4 seconds to the good now, looking to win the pre-season race here for the inaugural OneHubRacing ACC season. It looks like somebody's having a bit of a connection issue.
I think that's Blair Grills. That's Blair Grills who...
okay.
So I'm not sure if it's retirement or if it's a connection. So hopefully we'll find out from him soon. But that is him, unfortunately, out of the race because he can't join back. So what a shame.
Yeah. So the servers, costing us a driver. Blue Mosquito definitely dropping back now in that corner. Lost 2 tenths there while gaining on Blue Mosquito. So Blue Mosquito, the big loser on lap number 31. 3 minutes 50 left. So it's only 2 laps left to go. As Deck's going to hold his nerve. It's a comfortable enough 3.6 second lead, it has to be said. And if he can just maintain this pace, he's going to bring this one home, and it's going to be shots fired for the season ahead. Of course, 17 drivers have signed up for the championship, and it was only 12 for the pre-season tonight. So we've still got 5 drivers including Car Mentalist, to make an appearance
Yes.
when the points get handed out. Does it get any more tantalising than that? So we have a really strong field to come, but Dex definitely laying down markers in the Ferrari here in Spain. 3 minutes left to go, 3.7 seconds. The gap is back up to just toying, once again toying with his prey in that Ferrari. And an absolutely phenomenal display of race IQ and pit stop strategy from Dex Dexter. Found himself a second and a half behind first place going into the pits and 6 seconds ahead of first place coming out of the pits. So a truly remarkable drive and use of the pit stop strategy, as I said, by ERT's head honcho, Dex Dexter, and laying a marker down for the rest of the team. Of course, Camel Babo, Kyle and Khalifa. Kyle, great drive from Kyle, it has to be said. Finding himself up to 6, Mr. Praying Mantis himself. Found himself carving his way through the places. And I tell you, the Going Gets Tough award, if Flying Froome isn't the lead contender for that after this race, then I think the judges and stewards need to go and take their head for a bit of a boil in some hot water and clean out those ears. Absolutely phenomenal to see him qualify in 5th, drop down to 10th or 11th, and make his way back up to 4th place in that Ferrari. So really, for me, Jess, coming out with this race, one to watch. Dex has had a great run, but Flying Froome to get back, and he is closing the gap on Mosquito as well, it has to be said. It's now down to 8.9 seconds from 10, so Flying Froome, I'd say, with 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go, he has got to be definitely in contention for some kind of extra pat on the back, and I think the Going Gets Tough award could be coming his way very, very soon.
Yes, it can. It's going to be quite close between every one of those drivers, and you got to be outside the top 3 in order to win it, because obviously the top 3 will be getting prizes anyway in the Drivers' Championship. So you got to be doing everything in your power to make sure that you do not give up and attend every race anyway. Obviously, the pre-season race does not count, so I know there's some drivers that want to go for the Going Gets Tough award, which are not here, so there we go. So 40 seconds remaining, and I believe that Dexter is going to be on his final lap. So he's coming across for the final time. Well, the penultimate time, actually, but he's about to start his final lap of this race. And we just get confirmation that he is on final lap then. So it is time for the drivers to push. And look at Connor. 1.8 seconds is the gap now. Blue Mosquito, I don't think it's going to challenge Connor per second. He's going to probably settle for 3rd. And to be honest, Blue Mosquito has been driving amazing. Anyway, so we're looking at positions. Dexter's gained 1. Connor's probably dropped down 1. Blue Mosquito stayed where he is. Flying Froome has gained 1 position. Camo Bamo has dropped 1 position. Kyle, he has gained the most from 9th to 6th, so he's gained 3. Ponish Down has gained 1. Cablo has gained... He's dropped 2, actually. Khalifa's dropped a few places. Cam has gained... He's gained 2. KK, he's in the pit. So, out of the ones that are going to get the comeback point inside the top 10 at the moment, as it stands, it's going to be Carl in 6th position.
Yeah, I would say so. Phenomenal drive from Kyle. I did say he was like a praying mantis, waiting to strike early doors, and he certainly did. 3 positions he's gained from 9th, and 2 of them were in that very battle. Great drives from Connor, Blue Mosquito, Camel Babo, and Flying Froome as well. Dexter, he only improved by 1 position, but when you start in 2nd, there's only 1 position you can improve by. And coming into the RACC chicane for the last time of asking here in the inaugural OneHubRacing pre-season event, it is the Ferrari of Dex Dexter with a 1.5 second lead, who is going to take the checkered flag. Art Connor crossing the line in 2nd. Blue Mosquito taking 3rd, and Flying Froome just coming around the last corner now. He's going to take 4th, which means Camel Babo, Jess, is going to round out the top 5. we've got Kyle then. He's running in 6th place. He's going to come home in 6th. He's got Ponish Town looking very close as well. Cablo is a lap down, so is Khalifa then. So they've been given their checkered flags already. Cam Come On is in 10th place. He's still out on track. And OKK, of course, he started in 11th. He finished in 11th. Cam started in 10th. Finished in 10th. Cam dropped. Khalifa dropped a few places. Cablo gained. Ponish dropped. Kyle definitely gained. Great drive from Kyle. Here he is crossing the line. And as I say, Camel Babel 5th, Flying Throne 4th, Blue Mosquito in 3rd. Art Connor closed the gap hugely at the end, but it is 2nd place for him. And it is Dexter, 34 laps in with a 29-degree track temperature in my very own beloved Ferrari. Takes the inaugural checkered flag, Jess. Not too shabby an opening race from the 12 drivers that we saw this evening.
Yes, and I'm sure we're hopefully going to get the top 3 in for our interviews. There will be 2 opportunities, but let's go through your results first. Dexter wins from Connor, Blue Mosquito, Flying Throne, Camo Babo, Kyle, Ponish Town, Cablo, Khalifa, Cam K Mum, Blair Grills, and OKKs. Now, before we get these people in for interviews, we got one little job we've got to do, haven't we? We've got to pick a driver of the day each, which has been migrate over from F1 to ATC. We're doing it on ATC as well. So, I'm going to let you take the reins on getting free pick on this one. Who's your driver of the day, John? And what would you like to ask that driver of the day?
Oh, I think my driver of the day is going to have to be Flying Throne. Just in that Lamborghini, the drive to make his way back through the field. He gained so many places after that early incident. And I think the question I would like to ask him is, which stint was more difficult? All the overtaking in stint 1 to get back into position, or keeping it clean and consistent and trying to maintain the position that he'd gained in stint 2? So yeah, for me, definitely Flying Throne with that comeback drive from way down the field. For me, I think, yeah, driver of the day there.
So many other choices that could have been picked as well. Obviously, honourable mention has got to be for Carr for gaining 3 places as well. And obviously, Cablo's gained a bit as well. But, you know, this person, he started 2nd, went on to win the race. His momentum is high. He also won in Monza as well. We're going to be interviewing him in just a second, but my driver of the day has got to be, it can't be anyone else, to be honest. It's got to be Dexter. He is the only driver in the OneHubACC League to win 2 races on the trot. And my question is, are you going to be carrying the same momentum going into the first round of the championship? And are you excited for the season to get underway? And we're going to be asking more questions very, very soon from our race winner, aren't we, John? As he's about to get interviewed. I'm sure he's going to be very happy that he's one of our Driver of the Day nominees. So you can vote for either Flying Throne or Dexter in a poll going out later. There were so many other drivers we could have picked, but these 2 stood out for these as well. So, you know, we will have to wait and see. So, should we get Dexter in? Should we get the man of the moment in?
I think it's about time to do that. Would you like me to do that? Let me see.
Yes, please. I'll let you do the honours for the interview.
There we go. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Ferrari, Denmark. It's just synonymous now with victory, victory, victory. Dexter, checkered flag. Still on a high from his own hometown hero. Winning at the Spa 24 and here in Barcelona. Takes himself another ACC checkered flag at OneHub. Grinning ear to ear, RB Dex?
Hello. Yes, I am. I'm happy.
Good. That race was absolutely phenomenal. Tell me, the first stint, that was quite the battle. You sat in 3rd. Did you feel you had the pace over those 2 drivers? Were you just playing possum, or was it a case of couldn't get past, let's hope that the pit stop works for me?
Yeah, and I think in the beginning, I tried maybe to see if I could make some moves, but these 2 were also fighting, so it was really really, really tough to find a way through. And then I just tried to stay behind and see if I could force them into something, into a little mistake maybe, and see if they maybe collide or anything. Not that I hope for it, but it would
These
help
things
me.
happen. These things happen.
These things happen. And when I think 20 minutes into the race, I just decided that, okay, I'm going to pit early, undercut them if I can. And yeah, that was why I pitted maybe 5-7 minutes before I wanted to pit. So that was for the undercut.
Well, there you go. That was my next question. So thank you for answering question number 2. It was, of course, going to be the pit strategy. Was that in any way, shape, or form determined by the battle ahead? But as you said just there, it was. You pitted about 5-7 minutes. So that's a good 3 or 4 laps early. When you came out the pit, though, that was a 6-second lead you had over Art Connor. Were you surprised by that much of a lead, or was that the type of thing you were expecting? Because you did put in some decent laps when you came out after that pit stop.
Yeah, I think I was in pretty clean air when I came out. There was, I think I came out maybe behind, who was it? Was it Khalifa? And he didn't put up too much of a fight, of course. So he was a bit behind. So no reason for fighting a team member. So that was maybe an easy overtake, but yeah, I had some decent laps there, and I was a bit surprised. But I think Connor and was it Mosquito? They fought really hard, and they stayed up maybe 2-3 laps more than I did, and I think that cost them a lot of time. So I don't think the undercut was 6 seconds. I think it was 6 seconds because they stayed out too long.
Yeah, well, they certainly did. I mean, I know you're going to go back and watch the race, and you're in for a treat, I can assure you. But yeah, we did notice the battle between Connor and Blue Mosquito, both of them waiting to be interviewed. Superb. We're definitely going to get both of them in here. But yeah, that battle, it definitely looked like it did aid them. Right off the start line, though, I mean, we've got to give Blue Mosquito full tip of the cap. He started in third, but within 3 or 4 turns, he did manage to make that Audi very, very, very sticky, and that was the move he pulled there to get up and get past their decks. I mean, you've got hats off to the man. That was definitely a worldie of an overtake, especially considering it was the opening lap.
Yeah, I know you love the Ferrari, and I do as well, John. So,
Yeah.
but I have to say that I feel like I didn't feel like I have the same power that the guys around me had, because Camo Babo behind me in the Bentley, he almost ran into the back of me because he got such a good start. And then there was Mosquito in the Ferrari, in the Audi, and then also Connor in the Mercedes. They all got such a good start. And I don't know what happened, to be fair. I was just a bit down on power. I think I got the green light pretty spot on, but yeah, it wasn't the fastest. But luckily the Ferrari is good in the race, so that was good. But yeah, hats off to those guys. They got a really, really good start, and I'm sorry for Camo behind me because I held him up. I just couldn't go anywhere. So sorry for Camo.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure he was out of position due to an incident. Last one from me, the closing stage as well. You didn't half give us a bit of a sweat there, Dex. The gap at the end dropped drastically. Did you have a bit of an issue? Were you just taking it easy to nurse at home? Were you running out with fuel? Please don't ever do that to me again. What was going on there at the closing?
I think it was just playing a little bit safe, and maybe it was a little bit too safe. Maybe I was almost putting myself to sleep there. I should have maybe been more on the ball. So we were talking a bit in the chat and in the party, and maybe I got too relaxed, but in the end it was okay.
Yep, well, it certainly was okay. Qualified 6,000th of a second off a pole position, lost second place, dropped down to third with only 3 corners under your belt, came back to win it. Not too bad a drive at all, Dex. So congratulations to you. Jess, have you got any questions? for ERT's fearless leader and checkered flag winner?
I think, to be fair, you pretty much answered what I was gonna say, anyways. But I will ask something. First round is Spa next week, of course. A bit of a longer race than what people are used to as well. How are you faring your chances on the first race of the season?
Well, I've done Spa a few times on ACC, and it's been 2.5 hours of racing in each of them. One of them in mixed conditions, another one in full wet conditions all race. So I'm not used to doing it in the dry. So let's see how the conditions will be. I can't say anything yet, but
you're keeping it secret, are ya?
I'm keeping it a secret until I open up the server for practice. Yeah.
There we
like
go. That, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Now you got to beg any drivers watching the stream. You got to beg Dexter for the weather.
Exactly.
Only joking. You have to find out the same time as everybody else. Congratulations, Dexter, on your win. I know it may not count towards anything, but go and celebrate with your ERT compatriots out there. Well done.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, Dex. Well, there we go. That was our race winner, Dexter. We have 2 drivers waiting to join us in the comedy box. We have the man that qualified in pole and finished in second. We've got the man that started in third and finished in third. Who should we get in first, Jess? What do you fancy? Who do we fancy first?
We may as well do it like we've interviewed P1. We interviewed Dexter. Let's interview the man who qualified on pole but finished P2.
Do that then. Let us indeed welcome into the commentary box the man that qualified 6,000ths of a second ahead of Dexter and went on to just battle all the way through the race and come home in second. It is Art Connor. How are you after that race, Art? Connor, sorry. Is Connor there? His microphone's not yet. Are you there, Connor?
Can you hear us?
No, we've got no movement on Connor's microphone. You there, bud? No, I'll tell you what we'll do then.
I think he may be on his phone or something downstairs and then forgot that he's probably dragged or something. Knowing him.
Let's have a look. We'll get Blue Mosquito in.
Might as well. We'll give Connor a second because he's probably forgot.
Right, okay. Ground control to Connor.
Yeah.
Sorry for ruining your song.
Yeah, Dex, I think it's told Connor, but I think what I will do is while Connor sorts his mic out, let's bring Blue Mosquito in and drag Connor back into the rating room.
We will indeed. Well, there we go then. He now joins us. The driver in the Audi gave us so much on-screen action to salivate over, and definitely I'm going to enjoy watching this one back afterwards. There he goes. His microphone is off mute. Started in third and finished in third. Absolutely phenomenal performance there, Blue Mosquito. How were you after that race, my friend?
Pretty sweaty. That was hard work.
Is the correct
good race though. Great race.
Yeah,
got a good start.
I was going to say to you at the start there, you started, absolute flyer of a start in the Audi, overtook Dexter very quickly, and you gave Connor up at the front there a seriously hard time until the pit stops. That was some great battling, and it's got to be said, hats off, you must be extremely appreciative of the driving that you witnessed, both in front and behind you. The three of you very, very, very close for long stints of that, for the first stint of that race.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I think the three of us were pretty well matched for pace. I was hoping Connor would go in earlier. I thought I might have had a few more tenths of pace in me to sort of overcut both of them, but then I was trying too hard and went off. Lost myself about 4 or 5 seconds. So yeah, by the time I'd then completed my pit stop, I was down to third. So that bit didn't work out, but. Yeah, and then Connor sort of seemed to find his pace again, and I was just kind of stuck there for the rest of the race. Good though.
Yeah,
good omen for the season.
Yeah, it definitely is. I did say that it was almost like a game of ping pong during that first stint with you being the blue ball in the middle between Connor and Dex. The minorest of mistakes from any of you, and the gap was closing back and forward, back and forward. Dex definitely put you all to the sword with his pits. The undercut word for him. He came out flying ahead. But that second stint again, you came out right behind Connor and right towards the end there, absolutely just hunting him down, hunting him down. Bit of a gap towards the end, though. Did you just think to yourself, you know what, I've had enough of this? Let's just sit here. Let's
Kinda,
just
yeah.
safely
Maybe
bring it home and
ran,
get third, yeah?
ran out of energy. Well, maybe 10 minutes to go. I just realised I wasn't going to catch and pass him. So
Yeah, well, it's the old famous motorsport adage. It's one thing to get past someone; it's another thing entirely to make it stick. So yeah, definitely for
yeah,
a
there
exciting
was
event.
never really a time that I was really seriously going to get past him. I had one look down the inside at the end of the back straight into the hairpin, but I wasn't really close enough. He actually left me a gap, but I just couldn't quite take it. But
Not
that
quite
was really
close
the
enough
only
to
half
take it.
chance I got.
Yeah, well, it was absolutely solid driving performance. The season ahead, you mentioned it yourself, Spa, Hungaroring, Silverstone, Monza, absolutely cracking
Classics.
series of tracks. Is
Yeah.
there any that stand out to you as particular favourites that you're looking for? Or you think, you know what, I'm maybe eyeballing myself a little win there, or what are your expectations for the season, and what do you think of the calendar?
Oh, the calendar's brilliant. Yeah, that's some of the best tracks out there. Uh,
Amen to that.
but yeah, I'd love to get a win. I've only actually ever had one win in a league on this game, so that'd be nice. But yeah, I don't know if I was to pick one, maybe Hungary.
Oh, yes. Excellent choice. And the last and most important question, what part of Scotland is it you're from?
Aberdeenshire.
I knew that. I've got, yeah, northeast, definitely. You can hear a bit of the
Yeah.
Broch in there. Bit of the Dorach. Love it, love it.
Love
Fair
it.
my
enough.
Love it.
family's from Fraserburgh and Stonehaven. That's where my mum's side of the family's from, Fraserburgh and
Ah,
Stonehaven. So
all
I've got a
right.
bit of the
Local.
Dorach. Yep,
Oh,
pretty much,
God.
pretty much. Just down the coast in Dundee. Enough of this post-Scottish love affair here. Jess, any questions for our podium finishing Blue Mosquito?
This is probably your first ever race in OneHub ACC,
Yes,
and
it is.
yeah, it is because obviously you do some other leagues as well. As is there any sight of any competition after tonight? Do you think you're going to be a little bit more confident going into the first few rounds that you're going to be one of the ones to watch?
Well, I've raced with Flying From quite a bit before, and he's usually up there. And once he got himself sorted out, he had plenty of pace tonight. And I think we're missing H Racing Green, who was posting some pretty good-looking times. So
He's
yeah,
here
I
next
think
week
it's going
though.
to be really close. It's going to be really close at the front. I think. I couldn't call it. I don't know.
That is, I think, a good answer. I think I would say I can't call it
That's
either.
what we
That's
like
what
to hear.
makes it so exciting in ACC. So, best of luck next week. I can't wait to have more drivers on the grid, John, to see the true pecking order. But Blue Mosquito, you can have your head held high after that one. Congratulations. Qualified P3, finished P3. You deserve a medal, my friend. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, phenomenal race from Blue Mosquito, as Jess said. Great race, battled all the way through, started third, finished third. We will now, though, be joined by the man who
Hopefully, we can get him in this time.
Hopefully, we'll see if he is about. Connor, wherefore art thou,
Oh,
Connor?
he's gone.
Nope, he's just voluntarily left. So there we go. It would appear that
Oh,
Connor
no.
is unavailable for comment at the moment, Jess. He's probably jumped straight in the shower. Let's face it, the drivers, the state of them, there must be absolutely the levels of concentration that they showed. As I mentioned, as I was asking Blue Mosquito there, the opening stint there, the way how close they were all to one another, absolutely phenomenal racing in that first stint. The pit stops counting so hugely, and Blue Mosquito himself saying, very easy, minorest of little mistake, found himself dropping a few tenths here and there. And that genuinely was the difference up at the top of the field, Jess. And it really, as you say, we only had 12 of the 17 drivers on track tonight. That really, really, really does bode well for an unbelievable season ahead with the tracks that you guys have got on offer.
Yeah, quality over quantity, I have to say. As I was speaking to Dexter earlier, I was a bit sorry that we only had 12 drivers, but to be honest, I quite liked having the small grid tonight. It gave us more of a chance to see some more battles, and it was pretty good. So, you know, we can't wait to see the drivers remaining who are still yet to race, of course. I will quickly run through the drivers that weren't here tonight. So we've got Kieran as well. Kieran, Kids F1. We've got Car Mentalist, who wasn't here tonight. Gazzaman, who's still yet to race. H Racing Green, and we got Flays as well. So those drivers, we're yet to see what their pace is like. Obviously, we know what Car Mentalist is like. He's racing on one of our events before, so we're looking forward to see. So I don't think Connor's going to join, but whilst we double check to see if he's joining us, we've got a couple of things to just point out before we head off, and we could talk a little bit whilst we wait for Connor to potentially come back. If he doesn't, it doesn't matter. He can probably go on the he's here. Okay, let's see if we can get him in then. First of all, we need to ask him if he can hear us first before we do anything. You see, me waffling about so many things works, you know, John.
It really does. It really does. Let's drag him back in.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Hey! Yes,
I'm
we
on.
can.
Yay! There we go. Over to you, John.
There we go. Connor, where do we even start? That poll time, 6,000ths of a second between yourself and Dexter. 6,000.
Was it actually?
Yeah,
I didn't even look at it.
0.006
I set my lap
seconds.
I set my lap. Qualifying ended, and I ran to the toilet to get.
And I'll tell you,
yeah,
I think at the end as well, you only had one purple sector in qualifying. At one point, Dex was on pole and he hadn't purpled any of the sectors. That's how close it was. We knew then we were in for a close race. And boy, did you guys deliver, especially in that first stint. In your rear view mirror, straight off the start line, you see the blue Audi taking over the Ferrari. And then it is just a three-way battle royale for stint one. That must have been some serious pressure you were under with those two cars very, very close behind you.
It was a lot of pressure, to be fair. Like you say at the start, I just saw the Audi just dominate Dexter essentially and go straight past him. I basically just tried to keep my head down, not pay too much attention to what was going on behind me, and just keep driving. Made a few small mistakes, but it wasn't too bad, to be fair. It was scary though.
Not too bad. If I could drive half as good as you guys were, I would be. Well, I wouldn't be commentating, that's for sure. If only I could drive half as quickly as I could talk. The first stint, though, Dex was the first man to pull the trigger, and it certainly seemed to work in his favour. That was a monstrous gap. Your pit, and he said in his interview, he changed his pit strategy because he was behind you guys. He actually pitted 7 minutes early. He was planning on pitting 3-4 laps there. Your pit strategy, did you adjust yours at all, or did you stick to your game plan?
I think if I was stuck behind someone, I might have changed it, but because I was leading, I just thought, right, I've got to go as long as I can on these tyres to have the best opportunity of fighting back in the end on better tyres, hopefully. And that's why, because if Dexter hadn't have pit so early, I might have pit a bit earlier to try and get the fresher tyres sooner. But he pit so early, I was like, he's going to have a lot worse tyres at the end, so I need the better tyres at the end. So just held on out there for as long as I could. Hit my marks, which was 30 minutes, pit, and just went as fast as I could to catch him. And unfortunately, I just couldn't quite get to him at the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, you say that at the end, it was very much Hamilton on Vettel at the Hungaroring at the end. The gap in the last few laps definitely closed down. So you've definitely got the bit between the teeth. For the season going forward, though, certainly bodes well for you. You must be, with the calendar that we've got, I mean, Blue Mosquito is very excited about the tracks that we've got coming up. Is there, some good tracks. What are your thoughts on the calendar and how you see yourself performing for the season going forward?
I think Zolder's probably going to be my strongest track, to be honest.
Okay. Good track. Great
track. Spa. I kind of struggle with it on this game. I'm not really sure why. Same with Spain, to be honest. I struggle with it quite a lot. So I'm hoping that's my worst performance of the season.
Well,
And
yeah, you
luckily,
get that out in
it
the
doesn't matter.
pre-race. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Zolder's definitely going to be my strongest. I'm quite quick there. Hungary, I've never done a race at yet. I've probably done.
Ooh.
I think all I've done is the laps to get the stars for it, and that's it. But yeah, it looks like a good calendar. Like I said in my not driver briefing, in the pre-race interview, I think is
Yep.
there's a few tracks missing out of it that I would have loved to have seen, but the tracks in there are good, and I'm looking forward to them.
Excellent. Yes, and we are certainly looking forward to that potential podium finisher all season long. We'll love to hear it. Jess, any questions from your good self for our podium sitter Connor?
Well, first of all, I'd say fantastic qualifying lap from you as well. Are you more of a qualifying merchant, or are you better at the race in terms of the tracks we've got this season?
If you had asked me like a few months ago, I would have said I'm better in the race. But considering I've just finished a season in AOR and every race I was better in quali than I was in the race, probably a bit more sided towards quali in this game. But yeah, hopefully I can try and flip that. This was probably my most consistent race I've done in this game yet. So hopefully I can keep that trend and just keep improving in the races.
I think after tonight, I think I definitely agree with that statement there. That's all from me, John.
Yeah, well, Connor, thank you very much. That was an absolutely phenomenal race you put on for a spectacle. I'm sure it wasn't as comfortable and enjoyable for you as it was for us.
It was definitely a little bit sweaty after that one, to be honest.
Yeah, that is definitely the going consensus at the moment between the drivers. But yeah, thank you for putting on a race tonight. We look forward to seeing you, of course, at Spa next week. Remember, to survive Spa, you just need to get to the end. Don't worry about being quick. Pace is irrelevant at a track like Spa. But yes, thank you for your time, Connor. And we will see you again next week. So that was Connor. And Jess, yeah, I think I'm going to have to go and lie down in a darkened room with an ice pack after that. That was, a great opener. And, the drivers themselves sounding very enthusiastic about the calendar coming up, and with the drivers that we're actually going to have on the track next week as well, vying out for the points. Tell ya, OneHub is doing ACC the right way.
Yeah, it is definitely. OneHub is definitely, I think, very, very innovative. And when Nick told me that ACC was going to have a league for a season, I was definitely jumping for joy. So I'm sure everyone's going to be in for a treat. And to be honest, if you're not watching this live and you're watching this back and you want to watch this live, where have you been? Make sure you do watch us live at 7 p.m. UK time on a Tuesday night, because that's where we're going to be at for the next 5 weeks or so. Yes, 5 weeks of OneHub action around ACC before we start properly with the F1 League. It's a nice warm-up, I have to say, but I think I'm sure Dexter could agree that ACC is the best. I'm on equal terms because I love both of them as well. So we'll go a quick rundown of the points actually next week. I was going to go through them now, but I know a lot of you, including me, want you to have a lie down and some food as well. So make sure you check our sponsors: Next Level Racing, 3M Sim Racing, Vespertine, and of course ERT Elite Racing Team as well. Make sure you also subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can watch all our races back. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and of course our Instagram. But John, unfortunately that's all we got time for today.
It is indeed, parting in such sweet sorrow, but if that opening encounter doesn't whet your appetite for the rest of the season, then you should probably phone a medical professional and have your pulse checked ASAP. That is, as Jess said, all we've got time for this week. It has been my great honour and pleasure, and it will continue to be, to bring you this inaugural season. Thank you very much to everyone that watched tonight. As Jess said, get subscribing, get watching. We'll see you all again next week. Thank you, OneHub, for putting on, and all the sponsors. And again, my absolute pleasure to say thank you to Jessica Ball for joining me in the commentary box. Thanks very much, Jess.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm very excited for next week. Let's hope the drivers will put on a similar show as they did tonight, and looking forward to seeing the new drivers that weren't here this week. So, yeah, to see what their pace is like.
Yeah, it really will be. It really will be. I absolutely cannot wait. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a whole different kettle of fish when the points are being handed out next week. But until then, that is all we have time for this evening. Get your calendars, 7 o'clock, Spa, pray for rain. We'll see you then. Thanks very much. Good night.
Good night.